Just checking how many tips I got right last week. What the fuck? Yes, good day guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to my NFL week number 14 picks. Week 13 is gone. I got 16 out of 16, incredible. I picked the whole week of NFL. The Chiefs didn't lose last week, so I'm back in a Chiefs jersey once again as well. And man, I had a ton of fun over there in the state at the Chargers and Rams games, as well as the stadium tour. Make sure you check out those videos. But let's get into the games ahead this week. Starting off with the Detroit Lions taking on the Green Bay Packers, and the Packers have been in very good form and coming off into the playoffs. We know how good they can be, and this Detroit Lions team only one loss all season, an incredible record. You could say that they are due a loss, but they have just been so good at finding ways to win. Sometimes their offense is amazing, winning by 20, and then other times they're winning by 1 to 3 points, but they're just finding a way to get it done. Dan Campbell is such a good coach, man. The Packers playing with a bit of confidence here. They had a good win against the Miami Dolphins. This is a big test against one of those biggest sides in the NFC, and this is a chance of being the NFC Championship game. I'm not saying it will be, but it's a chance of a preview. It's a tough game to pick, but I am going to go with the Detroit Lions. I'm really heavy on them this season. I think they've been playing really, really well. I think it'll be very close. I'm going Detroit Lions by 4. They are at home, and I think they should just beat the Packers, but it should be close. Next up, it is the Miami Dolphins taking on the New York Jets. And the Jets arguably should have beaten the Seattle Seahawks last week. A great first half. During that fourth quarter, they just lost it again. They've been doing it all year, not playing fourth quarters, playing catch up all season. And the Jets season has officially come to an end now, and we're not seeing them as favourites every week, which is great to see. The Miami Dolphins have been playing very well. It wasn't the greatest performance against the Packers, but it wasn't too bad to say the least. You know, they've been in some form, and they're getting better and better as the weeks sort of go on. They had a tough opponent last week. The Jets should be a little bit easier. The Jets will make this tough for the Dolphins, but I think that the Dolphins can get this win. In a close one, I'm going to tip the Dolphins to win by 7. Next up at Minnesota, it is the massive game. It's the Vikings and the Falcons. Kirk Cousins homecoming to Minnesota. This is going to be a great game. Sam Darnold up against Kirk Cousins, the new dog versus the old dog sort of vibe. Atlanta just haven't been playing great. They need Kirk to be at his best, and there is going to be pressure on this man returning to fans that will cheer him, boo him. There'll be mixed opinion on the night, and this is going to be an incredible game. The Vikings have sort of been getting lucky in some of their wins, but they're still a very good team this year that will no doubt be part of the playoffs. As for this game, I feel like Atlanta have to bounce back, and this is a danger spot for the Vikings, but I am going to go with the Vikings to get this win against Kirk Cousins. I think that the Vikings have enough in defense to stop the Atlanta Falcons offense, so I am going to go with the Vikings by 7 points here as well. It is the New York Giants taking on the New Orleans Saints, and the Giants were beaten by the Dallas Cowboys on Thanksgiving in, I think it was actually a pretty high scoring match, but I could be wrong. I feel like it was close, high scoring, but it was the Cowboys who got the victory there. And then the New Orleans Saints, they're coming off a loss. I forget who it was against. It was a very tough loss. I think it was against the Rams. I think they lost by 7 points. And early on, they led that game. It was a Rams sort of comeback. So the Saints are traveling okay. Their record is not great, but they're playing okay at this point in the season. They're not awful like they were 5-6 weeks ago. They've turned things around a little bit. Now, the Giants, they're desperate for a win. Obviously, they've now let go of Daniel Jones. They're looking for their future. And, I mean, they've made some awful decisions this year, and they're due an upset win. But as much as I feel like it could be here, I am going to play it safe and tip the New Orleans Saints to win. But I think the Giants make it very tough. I'm tipping the Saints by 4 points. Next up, it is the Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Carolina Panthers. And in Philly, this game, they are riding a massive wave of momentum. They came from behind to beat the Ravens in Baltimore in a great game there. Obviously, Justin Tucker missed some of his kicks, but the Eagles were always winning that game for mine. They were looking fantastic in that second half and getting stops against the Ravens when necessary. The Ravens were starting to come home towards the end of the game, but the Eagles have been playing very, very well and are... they're a dark horse to win it all, man. Saquon Barkley could potentially be this year's MVP, which is crazy because it seems to be a quarterback award. But let's hope that Saquon Barkley, who probably deserves this award for this MVP level season, gets it. But as for this game, the Carolina Panthers, they haven't been playing too bad. They should have won against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but it would have stuffed my tipping. And I actually cashed out my multi when Carolina had the ball and Tampa Bay were going on to lose the game, which didn't happen in the end. But look, Carolina have been playing very well, so I don't think they can beat the Eagles. I think they can keep it close-ish, though. There's part of me that thinks the Eagles win this game by 20 points because their offense can be on and their defense is so good right now. But I am going to go the Carolina Panthers to keep within 10. So Philadelphia Eagles for mine to win this one by 10. Next up, it is the Cleveland Browns taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers in Pittsburgh. These teams played in the snow just a few weeks ago, and Jameis Winston is the best shit player, I don't know what you call him, that I've ever seen, man. You watch his performance of 500 yards, 3 or 4 touchdowns, two pick sixes, man. This guy, I just don't get how good and bad he can be. But anyway, I mean, the Cleveland Browns put in a nice performance and they got a win against the Steelers a few weeks ago, but the Steelers are a very good team. Russell Wilson is having a fantastic season, and the Steelers, I mean, their defense has been their best part this season, and they leaked a lot of points against the Bengals. They were still able to get the win, but it's concerning that they leaked 38 points in that game. But they're going to bounce back. They're going to win this game. It's going to be low scoring. Steelers win it by 7. Next up, it is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the Las Vegas Raiders. And Tampa, I expected them to put a bigger score on Carolina last week with a lot of their injured players coming back. They're more of a complete team. They're in a good NFC position. They need to be better, and I need to see more from Tampa to say that they are that contender that we saw at the start of the year, because right now I feel like even though they're in a good position, that they are a pretender. And as for this game, I think Tampa will be too good for the Vegas Raiders. I don't know where the Vegas Raiders turn it around, whether it be a home victory. They need to get one on the road, and this is probably an important game for the Raiders, who are on a very big losing streak. But I do think Tampa win by 11 points. Next up, it is the Tennessee Titans, who have turned their season around a little bit and gotten some victories in the last couple of weeks here and there, taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars, who have just been awful. Their season has come to an end, officially eliminated from the playoff. The Tennessee Titans have been playing better than the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I think the Jags will obviously have Mac Jones come in after Trevor Lawrence got killed in that game the other day. As for this game, I actually think this is going to go right down to the wire, and I'm going to tip Tennessee to get a home victory by 2 points. I think the Jags can keep this close. Their defense has not been good all year, and I think Tennessee have a better offense. That's why I've got them winning, but I do expect this game to be tight and Tennessee to make a lot of errors, so turnovers, I guess you can call them. I'm going to go with the Tennessee Titans by 2. Next up at Arizona, it is the Arizona Cardinals taking on the Seahawks. And we saw this matchup 3 weeks ago. The Seahawks got the win. I think it was 10 points, and they were very dominant. The Cardinals didn't score a touchdown in that game. The Cardinals have been so hot and cold, hit and miss. They need to be better in this game because Seattle have been playing very well. I think Seattle are now on 3 straight wins, so they're in a better NFC position and looking to try and win their division, which is crazy, their turnaround. But as for this game, I just like the Cardinals a little bit more, especially at home. Kyler needs to play at his best, and Seattle's defense can stop the Cardinals here, but I'm going to go the Cardinals. I know I did it a few weeks ago. I fell into a trap. I'm going to do it again. I'm trusting the Cardinals to win this game by 4. Should be a good. Next up from SoFi Stadium, it is the Los Angeles Rams taking on the Buffalo Bills, and the Bills absolutely destroyed. They killed the San Francisco 49ers. They have had injury all year, the Niners, but they were awful in the snow, and the Buffalo Bills were just so dominant in the snow. Josh Allen is leading the race for the MVP and had a fantastic game there the other day. So yeah, the Bills are just a different beast right now, and the Rams, They weren't great against the Saints. They were able to get that victory in the end, but most of the game they were actually losing. As for this game, Buffalo should dominate from the front foot here. Something tells me that the Rams at home are going to get this one closer than people think, but the Bills are going to continue their fantastic form. The Buffalo Bills to win a bit of a tight one by 6 points. Next up, it is the San Francisco 49ers taking on the Chicago Bears, and the Bears just finding ways to lose every single week, losing against the Detroit Lions after not calling a timeout on Black Friday, on Thanksgiving Day, one of the two. I think it was Thanksgiving Day actually, but this team has just turned off a cliff. They were starting okay at the start of the year. They hadn't really beat a proper contender. Now they've played some better teams and they just lose to good and bad teams, whoever it be. The San Francisco 49ers are injury ravaged and they were not great in the snow the other day. Now they are back at home. They need to win this game to keep their season alive. The Chicago Bears are in a good position. They have been keeping games close and just losing, and the 49ers look very, very beatable. But I think the 49ers are going to win this one. I don't know why, because I dead set think the Bears are such a big chance here, and I'd probably be taking the Bears. If you can get a plus 12.5, I'd trust the Bears to cover a plus 12.5, but that might be too many points. I'm going to go the San Francisco 49ers to win by 9. Yeah, a bit of a bigger score. They've got a bit of offense. They can get through this Chicago defense. Let's see if Chicago can snap their losing streak yet. At Arrowhead, it is the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Los Angeles Chargers, and the Chargers have been playing some very good football, and their defense in the last 2 weeks has been phenomenal. Even against that Ravens team, their defense was getting lots of stops throughout the game. They did a pretty good job for the most part on Derrick Henry in that game as well. They beat the Falcons in a grindy sort of win the other day, and they need to be better against the Chiefs, but the Chiefs have been sneaking away with victories and they're not looking the greatest. I mean, Harrison Butker is out, so the kicking is an issue there, but there are just things happening with this team, and the defense has been pretty poor, to be honest. And it is a bit of a danger game because I think the Chiefs are going to lose a couple of games towards the end of the season. This is one of those games they could lose that. But being at home, I think we should be too good for the Chargers. I'm going to tip Kansas City by 8. I wouldn't be surprised if this game is much closer. This could be an absolute thriller. But I think Kansas City have the number over the Chargers, and I think overall we should get the win. And the final game of the round will see the Dallas Cowboys take on the Cincinnati Bengals, and the Cowboys have been playing better. They've gone back-to-back victory, whereas the Cincinnati Bengals have been playing phenomenal, but just haven't been getting wins, and they've been putting up some massive scores. Joe Burrow is having an MVP sort of season in this losing record side, and he needs more help at this team. They absolutely need to hit the trade in this off-season period to become this team that they were over the last 2 to 3 years and become sort of dominant again in the AFC, because it hasn't happened for them this year. But putting up plenty of points, the Dallas defense is not great. They are riding confidence getting the win, and Micah Parsons had a great game on Thanksgiving as well, so he'll be on for this game. But Joe Burrow and what he's doing for the Bengals team, regardless of winning, he's playing well, and I can see that Cincinnati offense just firing, being too much for Dallas on the road, mind you. I'm tipping the Cincinnati Bengals to actually get the win here by 11 points. Those are my tips for week number 14 of the NFL. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Last week, yes, we did get 16 from 16. Let's get them all right again this week. Let me know your picks in the comments below. Enjoy your NFL. I'll see you guys later.